Here are my 9 breakout stars for next NBA season. So these are players that were not NBA stars last season, which fits the title Breakout. Some of these players you might not know because they aren't the biggest headlines, and some of these players you will instantly recognize. But before we start, we are on the road to 500 subscribers, so for my sanity, please hit that subscribe button. I'm sorry I haven't been posting lately. I've been on a bunch of trips, but let's get right into the video. Last season, the 7'2" center from Duke, Khaman Maluach, was selected 10th overall by the Phoenix Suns, and at first, Maluach was not thrown into a large role, playing behind names last season like Mark Williams and Oso Agardo. He even spent some time in the G League with the Valley Suns, gaining some confidence and experience. At the end of the season, Maluach showed some flashes with double-digit rebounding games, but he only finished the season averaging 9 minutes, 3 points, and 3 rebounds a night. So why do I think he could break out? Well, Summer League told us exactly what we needed to see. Maluach's entire game felt more polished. He put up performances like 23 points and 15 rebounds and 21 points and 10 rebounds. Overall in Summer League, Maluach averaged 19.5 points, 12.8 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. He also got offered to the All-Summer League second team, which is a huge accomplishment. Playing time-wise, there are going to still be questions there, but I think the Suns took notices of his performances, and every time Maluach gets his opportunity, he will definitely take it. So for next season, I think Maluach could be a double-double machine, averaging 12 points and 10 boards a night. Last year, coming into the 25-26 season, Ron Harper Jr. was fighting to prove he belonged in the NBA. After going undrafted out of Rutgers in 2022, he bounced between the Toronto Raptors and the Detroit Pistons organizations, spending most of his time in the G League and appearing in just 11 NBA games over his first 3 seasons. But Boston brought him into training camp on an Exhibit 10 deal, meaning there were no guarantees he'd even make the roster. Harper quickly earned the Celtics' trust with his toughness, defensive versatility, and ability to knock down open threes. His strong play in the G League led to a 2-way contract, and as injuries opened up opportunities later in the season, Boston converted him to a standard NBA contract. He appeared in 29 games, averaged 4.2 points in just 11 minutes per game, showing flashes on being a reliable 2-way wing who fit perfectly into Boston's system. His breakout moment came in the regular season finale against Orlando. With several Celtics starters resting, Harper exploded for a career-high 27 points, along with 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals as well, proving he could produce when giving real minutes. That performance, along with his steady improvement throughout the season, earned him a 3-year, $9 million contract from Boston entering the 2026-2027 season. Now, instead of fighting just to stay in the league, Ron Harper Jr. enters next season with a legitimate chance to carve out a consistent role in one of the NBA's deepest rotations. So next season, I can see Ron Harper Jr. being the consistent backup point guard, getting around 18 minutes a night, while averaging 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Caleb Wilson entered North Carolina as one of the top recruits in the 2025 class and immediately became one of the best freshmen in the country. He averaged 19.8 points, 9.4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, earning first-team All-ACC and consistent second-team All-American honors. Despite a season-ending injury before March Madness, Wilson had already established himself as a top prospect, leading to the Chicago Bulls selecting him 4th overall in the 2026 NBA Draft. Wilson carried that momentum straight into NBA Summer League and immediately looked like one of the best rookies in Las Vegas. He announced himself with a 35-point debut, showing off his ability to finish through contact, knock down open jumpers, and defend multiple positions. But instead of slowing down, he stayed dominant throughout the tournament, averaging over 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game, while proving he could impact both ends of the floor. His all-around play earned him a spot on the 2026 NBA All-Summer League first team, and by the end of the week, many fans believe Chicago had landed one of the biggest deals at the top of the draft. So why could he break out? Everything is lining up for Caleb Wilson to have a breakout rookie season. The Bulls are in the middle of building around young talent, and Wilson has the opportunity to step into a major role immediately, alongside players like Josh Giddey at 6'9" with an elite athleticism. He can guard multiple positions, run the floor, finish above the rim, and create offense for himself and others. If his summer league performance is any indication, Chicago won't just be developing him, they'll have to be relying on him. With his two-way impact, expanding offensive game, and the freedom to grow on a rebuilding team, don't be surprised if Caleb Wilson becomes one of the leading candidates for Rookie of the Year, and one of the NBA's biggest breakout stars in the 2027 season. But I could see Caleb Wilson averaging 18 points, 6 boards, and 5 assists in his first season in the NBA. Cedric Coward had an impressive rookie season, quickly proving he belonged in the NBA. He appeared in 62 games and averaged 13.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists, while shooting 47.1% from the field. His two-way impact earned him a spot on the NBA All-Rookie First Team, and he finished 5th in Rookie of the Year voting, giving fans a glimpse of his potential heading into Year 2. Coward built on that momentum during the 2026 NBA Summer League, where he looked like one of the best second-year players in Las Vegas. He averaged 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block while shooting 39.4% from 3. His confidence as a scorer and playmaker took a noticeable leap, and his all-around production earned him a spot on the NBA All-Summer League second team. So why could he break out? Everything is in place for Cedric Coward to take another leap this season. He already proved he can produce at the NBA level, and his Summer League performance showed he has even more offensive upside than many expected. With his combination of size, shooting, defensive versatility, and growing confidence with the ball in his hands, he's in position to earn an even bigger role. If he continues developing at this pace, don't be surprised if Coward becomes one of the league's best two-way young wings and one of the biggest breakout players of the 2027 season. I think Coward could average 20 points a night in his second season in the league, being the main offensive weapon for the Memphis Grizzlies. Zaccharie Rissacher entered the NBA with enormous expectations after being selected number 1 overall by the Atlanta Hawks, but his first 2 seasons did not go as planned. While he showed flashes of two-way wing scouts and vision, consistency was always a struggle. His offensive game never fully developed in Atlanta, and he often found himself playing a limited role behind established veterans. By the end of his second season, many fans were already questioning whether the former number 1 pick would ever become a true star. Everything changed during the 2026 offseason, when Atlanta traded Rissacher to the Dallas Mavericks. The move gave him a fresh start with a new coaching staff and a system that better fits his strengths. Instead of carrying the pressure of being the franchise's number 1 pick, Rissacher now joins a team that can let him grow naturally. Dallas believes his size, shooting potential, and defensive versatility makes him an ideal modern wing, and they'll be looking to unlock the upside that made him a top pick in the first place. So could he break out? Well, a change of scenery is exactly what many young players need, and Rissacher has all the ingredients for a breakout season. At 6'9", with smooth shooting mechanics, defensive versatility, and improving shot creation, he has the physical tools to thrive in today's NBA. With a defined role in Dallas and less pressure that he faced in Atlanta, he can focus on playing to his strengths instead of trying to live up to unrealistic expectations. If his confidence grows and his offensive game continues to expand, this could finally be the season where Zaccharie Rissacher reminds everyone why he was the number 1 overall pick. But I could see Rissacher averaging 15 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists a night on elite efficiency. Meleek Thomas was one of the most electric freshmen in college basketball, quickly making a name for himself with his elite scoring ability and athleticism. He averaged 18.9 points, 5 rebounds, and 3.2 assists, proving he could create offense at all 3 levels and establishing himself as one of the top guards in the 2026 NBA draft. But Thomas wasted no time showing he belonged in the NBA. During the 2026 NBA Summer League, he averaged 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.1 assists, highlighted by a 37-point explosion that put the entire league on notice. Whether he was knocking down deep threes, attacking the rim, or creating difficult shots off the dribble, Thomas looked like one of the most dangerous scorers in Las Vegas and earned all Summer League first team honors. So he could definitely break out. Thomas has everything he wants in a modern NBA guard. He's an explosive 3-level scorer, an underrated playmaker, and has the confidence to take over games when he gets hot. On a Cavaliers team looking for more scoring off the bench, he has a real chance to carve out a major role early in his career. If his Summer League performance is any indication, Meleek Thomas has all the talent to become one of the biggest breakout players of the 2027 season. So I could see Meleek averaging 12 points in his rookie season. Collin Murray-Boyles had a really solid rookie season and honestly looked exactly like the kind of player scouts expected him to be coming into the league. He wasn't putting up crazy scoring numbers, but he did all the little things that helped his team win. He defended multiple positions, crashed the glass, and made smart passes, and finished well around the basket. He ended the year averaging 9.8 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 2.1 assists, and it was pretty clear he had all the tools to become a really good two-way forward. Then came Summer League, and that's where things started to get exciting. Murray-Boyles looked way more confident with the ball in his hands and much more aggressive offensively. He put up 18.5 points, 9.1 rebounds, and 3.1 assists, while impacting the game on both ends of the floor. His defense was as good as advertised, but the biggest difference was seeing him create on offense instead of just finishing plays. It looked like the game was starting to expand. So why could he break out? For me, it starts with everything he already does well. He's tough, plays hard every possession, and has really good basketball IQ. Those are the type of players coaches trust. If his jump shot keeps improving and his team gives him a bigger offensive role, which he will have this season, I think he's ready to make a serious leap. I wouldn't be surprised if he averages around 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists next season, while becoming one of the best two-way young forwards in the entire NBA. He's definitely someone I keep an eye on for most improved player conversation. Ryan Rollins' NBA journey definitely hasn't been a straight line. After being drafted by the Warriors in the second round back in 2022, injuries and a lack of consistent minutes made it tough for him to find his footing. He bounced between teams early in his career, but every time he got an opportunity, you could see the talent was definitely there. He's always had a smooth handle, the ability to create his own shot, and the confidence to make plays. But last season was when everything finally started to click. With a much bigger role with the Milwaukee Bucks, Rollins turned into one of the biggest surprises in the league, averaging 15.5 points, 4.8 assists, and 3.6 rebounds, while shooting the ball really efficiently. As the season went on, he looked more comfortable running the offense and started taking over stretches of games. Whether it was knocking down tough jumpers, getting to the rim, or setting up teammates, he showed he could be much more than just a role player. So why could he take another leap? Well, the biggest reason is that he already has one of the hardest skills to teach. He can create his own offense. That's what every team is looking for in a guard. If he keeps improving as a defender and continue making smart reads as a playmaker, there's no reason he can't be one of the best young guards in the league. I can honestly see Rollins averaging 20 plus points per game next season and earning his first All-Star selection. Considering where he started as a second round pick, that would be one of the coolest success stories we've seen in the NBA so far. Alex Sarr came into the NBA with a ton of hype after being selected number 2 overall by the Washington Wizards. At 7 feet tall, he had already had everything teams look for in a modern big man: length, athleticism, rim protection, and the ability to step out and hit his shots. His rookie season had its up and downs, which is pretty normal for a young center, but every now and then, he'd put together a game that reminded everyone why the Wizards were so high on him. You can definitely see the potential was there. In his second season though, things really started to come together. Sarr became one of the biggest bright spots on the Wizards, averaging around 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. He looked much more confident offensively, knocked down jumpers at a better rate, and became a real problem on the defensive end. But what impressed me the most was how much more comfortable he looked with the ball in his hands. Instead of just finishing plays, he started creating offense for himself and making smart reads for his teammates. So why could he become a superstar? It's simple. There aren't just any players built like Alex Sarr. He's 7 feet tall, protects the rim at a high level, can switch onto guards, has the skill set to score from all over the floor, and those kind of players are incredibly valuable in today's NBA. If he keeps getting stronger and continues developing as a shooter and playmaker, I think he's going to take another leap. I can definitely see Alex Sarr averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists next season, while earning his first All-NBA selection. If that happens, the Wizards will know they found the centerpiece of their future. Building around Anthony Davis and Trae Young will be huge for his development as well. Those are my 9 breakout stars for next NBA season. And if you liked my list, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. They're both free. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, so it would be pretty cool if you guys subscribed. It would mean the world to me. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.